Hello students, welcome to the course of Environmental Science. My name is Riya Dikshit and I am working as an assistant professor in AISSMS College of Hotel Management and Catering Technology, Pune. The topic for this session is India as a mega-biodiversity nation, endangered and endemic species of India. Now let's understand the objective of this particular session. To know about the endangered species of India, to know about the endemic species of India. Let's have a short recap of the previous session. Biodiversity, short for biological diversity, refers to the variety of life forms present on Earth, encompassing the diversity of species, ecosystems, and genetic variations within and among populations. It is a measure of richness and complexity of life at different levels of organization, from the genetic diversity within individual species to the diversity of habitats and ecosystem across landscapes and continents. Mega-biodiversity. Mega-biodiversity refers to a high level of biodiversity found within a specific region or a country. It indicates an exceptionally rich and diverse array of species, ecosystems, and genetic variations within a relatively limited geographic area. The term mega-biodiversity is often used to describe countries or regions that harbor a significant proportion of the world's known species and are recognized for their ecological importance on a global scale. Characteristics. High species richness. Megadiverse regions are home to a large number of species across various taxonomic groups including mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish, insects, and plants. Endemism. These regions often contain a substantial number of species that are endemic, meaning they are found nowhere else in the world. Endemic species are unique to specific geographical areas and are often highly specialized to their local habitats. Ecosystem diversity. Mega-biodiverse regions encompass a wide range of ecosystems from forests and grasslands to wetlands, deserts, and coastal areas. These ecosystems support a diverse array of species adapted to its partially environmental conditions. Genetic diversity. In addition to species diversity, mega-biodiverse regions typically exhibit high level of genetic variation within populations. This genetic biodiversity is important for species adaptation, resilience to environmental changes, and long-term survival. Global significance. Mega-biodiverse regions play a crucial role in global biodiversity conservation efforts. They serve as reservoirs of genetic resources, provide important ecosystem services, and contribute to the overall health and stability of planet's ecosystem. Examples of countries which are recognized for their mega-biodiversity include India, Brazil, Colombia, Indonesia, Australia. These countries are considered key priorities for conservation due to their exceptionally biological richness and high levels of threat they face from habitat destruction, climate change, pollution, and other human activities. India as a mega-biodiversity nation. India's status as a mega-biodiversity nation stems from its extraordinary richness in biological diversity across various taxonomic groups and ecosystems. Species diversity. India's diverse topography, ranging from the towering Himalayas in the north to the coastal plains in the south, creates a wide range of habitats that support an immense variety of species. It is estimated that India is home to about 7 to 8% of world's recorded species, including mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish, and insects. The Western Ghats and the Eastern Himalayas are recognized as global diversity hotspots due to their high levels of species, richness, and endemism. Endangered species. Now let's understand the meaning of endangered species. An endangered species is a species that is at risk of extinction in the near future if the factors causing its decline continue to operate. These factors may include habitat loss, poaching, pollution, climate change, and other human disturbances. The designation of endangered is based on scientific assessments of population size, trends, and threat to these species. Species characterized as endangered are considered to be facing a very high risk of extinction. Conservation efforts for endangered species typically involve habitat protection, captive breeding, and reintroduction programs, anti-poaching measures, and public awareness campaigns to reduce its threats and promote conservation. Now let's understand the meaning of endemic species. An endemic species is a species that is native to specific geographic area and is found nowhere else in the world. Endemic species have evolved and adapted to unique environmental conditions within their restrictive range. Endemism is often associated with isolated habitats such as islands, mountain ranges, or specific ecosystems where species have evolved in isolation from similar species found in other regions. Endemic species are often of particular conservation concern because their restricted range makes them more vulnerable to extinction if their habitat is threatened or if the species are introduced. Protecting endemic species and their habitat is important for preserving the unique biodiversity and species and ecosystems, for maintaining the ecological balance as well as the function of the environment. Now let's understand few of the endangered species of India. Bengal tiger. The Bengal tiger is one of the most iconic and endangered species in India. Found primarily in forests of India, particularly in reserves like Ranthambore, Sundarban, and Corporate, it is threatened by habitat loss, poaching for its skin and body parts, and human-wildlife conflict. Conservation efforts including habitat protection, anti-poaching measures, and community-based conservation initiatives. Indian elephant. The Indian elephant is an endangered species primarily found due to the habitat loss, fragmentation, and human-wildlife conflict. It is found majorly in forested habitats across India, particularly in national parks such as Kaziranga. Indian elephants threaten from deforestation, agricultural expansion, and human-wildlife conflict into their habitats. Indian rhinoceros. The Indian rhinoceros is found in select areas of northeastern India and the Terai region of Nepal, notably in Kaziranga and Manas National Park. It is endangered primarily due to the habitat loss, poaching for its horn, and human-wildlife conflict. Conservation efforts include strict protection in reservoirs, habitat restoration, and community involvement in conservation initiatives. Asiatic lion. The Asiatic lion is a critically endangered subspecies found in the Gir Forest National Park and the surrounding areas of Gujarat. It faces threats from habitat loss, fragmentation, and human-wildlife conflict. Conservation efforts include habitat restoration, anti-poaching measures, and the efforts to minimize the human and lion conflicts. River dolphin. The Ganga river dolphin is an endangered freshwater dolphin found in the Ganga, Brahmaputra, and Meghna river systems of India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. It is threatened by habitat degradation, pollution, and accidental entanglement in fishing gear. Conservation efforts include habitat protection, reducing the pollution, and creating dolphin sanctuaries. Red panda. The red panda is an endangered small mammal found in the eastern Himalayas, which is threatened by habitat loss and poaching. It inhabits temperate forest with dense bamboo undergrowth. Conservation efforts including habitat protection, community-based conservation initiatives, and captive breeding programs. Snow leopard. The snow leopard is a critically endangered big cat species found in high altitude regions of Himalayas. It faces threat from habitat loss, poaching for its fur and body parts, and killing. Conservation efforts include establishing protected areas, community-based conservation programs, and reducing the human and wildlife conflict. Indian vulture. The Indian vulture is an endangered bird species which is threatened by habitat loss, poisoning from drugs, and decline in the prey species. It plays a crucial role in the ecosystems by preventing the spread of disease. Conservation efforts include banning the use of these medicines which create harm to the vultures, captive breeding programs, and creating a vulture safe zone. Himalayan musk deer. Himalayan musk deer is an endangered species hunted for its musk gland, which is traditionally used in medicines and perfumes. It inhabits in the region of Himalayas and is threatened by poaching and habitat loss. Conservation efforts include the anti-poaching measures, habitat protection, and public awareness campaigns. Now let's understand the endemic species of India. Malabar giant squirrel. Endemic to the Western Ghats, the Malabar giant squirrel is one of the largest tree squirrels in the world. It inhabits the rainforests of Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu, where it plays an important role in seed dispersal. The species is threatened by the habitat loss and fragmentation as well as its hunting for its meat and fur. Western Ghats purple frog. This unique amphibian species is endemic to the Western Ghats, specifically the high altitude regions of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. It spends most of its life underground and emerges only during the monsoon season to breed. The Western Ghats purple frog is listed as endangered due to habitat loss and degradation caused by the human activities. Indian purple frog. Endemic to the Western Ghats, the Indian purple frog is known for its unique appearance with bloated body and pointed snout. It spends most of its life underground and emerges only briefly during the monsoon season. This species is threatened by habitat loss and degradation. Now let's understand why and how can that endangered species be protected. Implementing strict laws against poaching and illegal trading of endangered species is imperative. Establishing protected areas and wildlife reserves to safeguard habitats is essential. Educating communities about the importance of biodiversity conservation can foster a sense of responsibility. Supporting sustainable practices in industries like lodging, fishing, and agriculture to minimize the habitat destruction is critical. collaborating with local communities and indigenous groups to develop conservation strategies that respect their tradition as well as knowledge. Conducting research to understand the needs and behaviors of endangered species better can guide conservation efforts. Implementing captive breeding programs for species on the brink of extinction can help bolster their population. Promoting ecotourism as a means of generate income for local communities while fostering appreciation for our wildlife. Encouraging responsible consumer choices to reduce the demand for products derived from the endangered species. Rehabilitating and reintroducing species to their natural habitats after they have been rescued or recovered. Collaborating with international organizations and governments to address global threats to endangered species such as climate change and pollution. Establishing corridors and greenways to connect the fragmented habitats, allowing species to migrate and disperse. Engaging in habitat restoration efforts such as reforestation and wetland restoration to create viable habitats for endangered species. Monitoring the population and conducting regular assessments to track the status of endangered species and adapt conservation strategies accordingly. Involving youth through the environmental education programs to instill a sense of stewardship for these endangered species. Enforcing strict regulations on invasive species to prevent them from outcoming the native species. Implementing sustainable agricultural practices that minimize pesticide use and habitat destruction. Providing financial initiatives for landowners to conserve natural habitats on their properties. Fostering international cooperation and partnership to address the challenges for which are being faced by the endangered species. Now let's have a recap of this session. Biodiversity, which is short for biological diversity, refers to the variety of life forms present on Earth, encompassing the diversity of species, ecosystem, and genetic variation within and among population. Mega-Biodiversity refers to a high level of biodiversity found within a specific region or country. It indicates an exceptionally rich and diverse array of species, ecosystem, and genetic variation within a relatively geographic area. We have also learned about various endemic and endangered species in India. Thank you.